So, hello and welcome to today's webinar from, it's a co-production with SVOD, Silicon Valley Open Doors, that we will hear more about soon, and Goodler. Galina Fedorova is joining us there from Silicon Valley in Palo Alto as well. And we have Professor Leif Edvinsson here from, I guess you are in Stockholm, and me sitting in Gothenburg, Sweden. And we do this in collaboration with the Nordics Consortium and Living Breathers Planet. So I would like to welcome maybe Galina, would you like to say something about what you are doing there as a short introduction?
Yes, good morning everybody from around the world. My name is Galina Fedorova, and as Bertola said, I'm a co-founder of Goodler. And Goodler, it's a platform that allows...
From Silicon Valley in Palo Alto as well, and we have Professor Leif Edvinsson here from, I guess you are in Stockholm, in Gothenburg, Sweden. And we do this in collaboration with the Nordics Consortium and Living Breathers Planet. So I would like to welcome maybe Galina, would you like to say something about what you are doing here as a short introduction?
Yes, good morning everybody from around the world. My name is Galina Fedorova, and as Bertola said, I'm a co-founder. Yeah, there's like a YouTube or something that allows...
Silicon Valley.
Okay, I'll do it again. So my name is...
Yeah, we continue from there. It's a new technology today, so it's happens. So we are figuring out how to connect in this digital world. So Galina, maybe you could continue again.
Yeah. So I'm a co-founder of Goodler, and Goodler is a platform that helps charitable organizations to cover basic needs of their constituencies by providing them with a way of connecting them to international communities through an online e-commerce marketplace. And basically we are a gift registry for charities, where charities can go on our platform, create wish lists with items that they need that can be purchased through local retailers, and they spread the word, and supporters come on our platform, purchase items, and items delivered directly to those charities. No customs, no fees. It's a free to both supporters and charitable organizations.
Okay, great. And Anna Kournikova, the founder of SVOD, can you tell a little bit more about that?
Thank you for joining our webinar. I'm a managing partner at the early stage fund called the TC Ventures, and also a founder of our social project, which started about 11 years ago, called Silicon Valley Open Doors. And that is a platform for international entrepreneurs to come to the Silicon Valley and meet with the local investors and promote their projects and get funding. As part of the conference lasts for 2 days, and it includes both startup pitches and presentations or fireside chats by successful investors and entrepreneurs, sharing their knowledge, ideas, their successes, their failures with young entrepreneurs. For a few years now, we've been running a panel as part of a SVOD conference on social entrepreneurship and impact investing. This is a very important topic in our world today, and we as a fund are working. We have portfolio companies that do social impact. We hope they do social impact and they will succeed in this endeavor. So this year we have 2 speakers.
Okay.
One is...
Sorry, Anna, can you be a little bit closer to the microphone? We get feedback that it's a little bit difficult to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit better, yeah.
Better. What about now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this year we have 2 amazing speakers. William Draper, who is a founder of one of the founders of Silicon Valley, investor in many successful world-class companies. One of his recent investments is the one we use right now. It's Skype. He was first investor in Skype. And so he started the Kaplan Foundation, where people who put money in philanthropy actually... What's wrong? You cannot hear me? Can you hear me?
We hear.
Okay. So they invest in his fund, making both impact investing and making money. And another great speaker is Paula Goldman, who does investments on behalf of Omidyar network.
Yeah, great. Maybe also we could go to our longtime friend here in the webinars, Leif Edvinsson, and your relation to Silicon Valley.
Well, I'm very happy to be with you, and I say good evening rather than good morning. We are a little bit ahead of you of time, even if it's not the usual way. Scandinavia is nowadays very much a scene of startup enterprises, and I'm a long-term favorite of California. I was an old Berkeley student in the early 70s. So I've followed you closely and been working with John Seeley Brown as well in a number of situations, as well as Gary Hamel. So I look forward to learn more from this collaboration.
Yeah, going back to Galina, and please remember there to speak close to the microphone there. We have a question here. What does social entrepreneurship mean to you? What is social entrepreneurship? Why did you start this?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, because the term social entrepreneurship is gaining momentum, and people talk about it a lot, but when you actually ask people what they understand in terms of what social entrepreneurship is, everybody gives a different answer. And some people, and you have to be very careful when you say that, because sometimes when people think that it's actually non-profit organizations, that it's you're part of some charitable organization. On the other hand, other people think it's pure business and it's just a popular word, or something like Tom's shoes, that if you're doing something, you have to give away something. So you have to be very careful when you're using the term, because you have to explain to people what you actually mean by that. And what I mean by when I say that I'm a social entrepreneur is that the part of our business and part of what the Goodler is all about is to bring out the social change and help everybody, as many people as possible, to see their lives improved. And how we can do that, we do it through working with civic organizations and charitable organizations that serve the public, that serve global citizens. And by providing them with a platform, they can make a larger impact. So we don't really go to end users. We're using civic organizations as our customers that make a larger impact. And we are for-profit business, but social impact and making lives of other people better is a big part of our business.
Yeah, great.
Follow-up question, Bartola, follow-up question. So for Galina, how would you like to describe Skype then?
I'd like
Is it a social entrepreneurship?
Yes, that's an interesting thing. Yes, I think that Skype is also, actually, in fact, I think that all startups, in a way, because they bring innovation in the industries that they're playing in, they are bringing innovation, and by doing so, they are making an impact. So Skype is one of those, it giving a voice to many who didn't have it before. Also, even if you take as example Uber, it's also making an impact because now people have an opportunity to make money, improve their lives, in their communities. So they are, in a sense, social entrepreneurs as well. So yes, it's a really broad description. That's a very good question. Yes.
Well,
Yeah, I
Skype
like
has
it very
changed our
much
lives,
because
right?
Skype has actually transformed the telecom market.
Exactly, and making us closer to each other, which was so unimaginable before.
Anna, you who have been, you said you started 11 years back. Can you see some difference now coming up in terms of interest in impact investing and so forth? How do you see the
Absolutely.
trends?
Absolutely, there was nothing 11 years ago, not even close to any interest in this area, and now there is a huge interest in social investments, and with a fund invest in companies that do social impact. Obviously, our major interest is, and our major focus is to make money for the limited partners for the fund. Yet at the same time, we all have only one life, and we would like to make money while making change in the world, kind of positive change in the world. And that's the reason we started investing in social important companies, and Goodler is one of them. It's our portfolio company. There are a few others. One is related to people who are divorced families, making impact in lives of people, of children and people who were divorced. The other one is in the transcription area, where the company uses crowdfunding, sourcing, sorry, where people who are, say, stay-home moms can earn money and use professional skills working for the company part-time, which was sort of hard to imagine even a few years ago. So that's for me the understanding kind of what I can do while focusing on making profit for my fund, still bring in helping those socially important companies with partnerships, with contacts, with network, with advice, helping them succeed in their endeavors.
What do you hope will happen at this SVOD conference in terms of impact investing? What would be the perfect outcome?
The perfect outcome would be we bring in companies from all over the world, and Silicon Valley seems to be, at least from our point of view, the focal point of social entrepreneurship. And we think that it's very important to bring the insight, the energy, the experience to entrepreneurs from other parts of the world. Get this sort of excitement, get idea that they can do things and they can succeed, and that's what the whole Silicon Valley is about. While answering your question, maybe you can talk a little bit about social entrepreneurship in Europe and how you see it different from the Silicon Valley.
Maybe that is a question for Leif.
Yeah.
Well, I could at least start. I think Skype is still a very interesting case because it was prototyped in Sweden as well as Estonia, and then the funding was coming from US, as well as the political support was coming from Luxembourg. So it's an interesting global pizza, you could say, with different components. And I think this is what I find very interesting, the entrepreneurial spirit of California combined with some of the infrastructure of Europe. But there is another dimension which is probably more challenging down the road, and that is the transformation of nations. And that's where I think it could be an emerging topic down the road. How do you change from social entrepreneurship to societal entrepreneurship? And that goes very much into the picture when you think about southern part of Africa as well as Asia. Because then the infrastructure and the political frame for entrepreneurs has to be re-governed by an entrepreneurial political spirit. So therefore we might see down the road political entrepreneurship as well as societal entrepreneurship.
It's actually pretty interesting that you touched on societal entrepreneurship, because the Goodler chose the model to align with civic institutions, which are service providers in civic sectors, including charitable organization is part of that, I believe, and also municipalities. We help organizations with disaster relief and humanitarian relief. And I think to create this societal entrepreneurship, you have to create the ecosystem where all players understand their role and they are not competing, but instead they're collaborating. So this collaboration and partnership is a really key to creating that societal change and bringing up local startups in different regional areas. It's there are some startups, let's say same Uber, they went around and they did their thing, and now they're going back to institutional civic institutions and trying to get the regulations around their idea. But I think it's very, very important when you're trying to talk about societal entrepreneurship that the collaboration starts with collaboration. It's not just a startup comes up and then they try to change the world around them. It's collaborating with all the parties in ecosystem, and that's why to Anna is that it's important to have all the players and mentors and investors being a part of that ecosystem and supporting those entrepreneurs who are bringing about the change.
This is very good. I like what you say. And if you see then the case of Skype, it was a multinational effort, actually, as you say, an ecosystem across borders, which means that how does the regulation work when you are crossing the borders? And how do you redesign or readapt or whatever we are finding for it? So therefore, Skype is an interesting case, actually, with, as I said initially, the political support was coming from Luxembourg with the former Minister of Telecommunication there. And the technical dimension was coming from the Nordics and the funding from US. So it was really, and is really, an interesting case.
And how do you think we can scale social entrepreneurship over there? There are, of course, in terms of one of these initiatives started from SOCAP around social capital markets, and it's interesting to see now that SVOD is doing this, and Global Innovation Summit is doing something there. So there is really an interesting ecosystem around Stanford and Berkeley and other players there. Will you continue in SWOD to build it over the year, or do you have some idea how to build more support around this?
Absolutely, and we would like to involve as many parties as possible. This is this is not our only focus. We have many other issues that we cover at the conference, but we think that this topic is extremely important and we should bring it over, involving all parties that kind of do it on a day-to-day basis, that focus on it, that you know, Stanford, Berkeley, SoCap, you guys were very, very helpful. Thank you so much for all the efforts that you put in helping us organize this VOD, and we'll continue doing that for sure.
It's a little bit hard to hear, you know, but and you start on the 11th.
Say it again.
Is it on the 11th of June
Yes,
you will
it's
start?
10th and 11th of June, and the panel will take place in the morning on the 11th of June. And before the panel, there will be a startup pitch competition, and that panel will be focused on social entrepreneurs. They will be pitching to investors, to the Silicon Valley investors.
And you are expecting how many people will be there?
Well, we expect overall about 1,000 people. And that's a relatively small conference, and we keep it this way specifically to make sure that everybody in the room can meet everybody. So we call ourselves that we are doing VIPization in a way where we don't have any VIP lounges, we don't have any VIP rooms, no kind of the access to the conference comes from kind of one main door, goes through the main corridor and enters the main hall, so that everybody could meet everybody and create partnerships. That's the whole idea of SVOD, to make sure people meet each other, talk to each other, share ideas, build companies, build partnerships as much as it's possible. And this can only be done in the relatively small environment where there are not so many people. The people, there are quality people, entrepreneurs, investors, and high-tech professionals.
Great.
Do you have any special technology to identify who are the quality people?
We have a network where we spread the word about the SVOD conference, and we believe that this network is a good kind of selection of quality people, both on the entrepreneurial side. We have over 100 investors coming, Silicon Valley investors coming to the conference, about 50 global investors coming from other parts of the world. We have panel of investors judging startup pitches, and every panel is different. Every panel has 8 investors on stage and about from 10 to 20 investors off stage. The stage is not big enough to fit all the investors that come to hear.
But that's why I ask you, because to me what you're saying sounds more or less like they did it 300 years ago in London. When they started the London Stock Exchange, gathering a number of people, and quality people were talking to each other. So I wonder if there's some modern technology that you have identified, like Skype or Google Hangout or some other ones, that could be applied to have a structural capital, leaving behind the good connection, so to say.
Yeah, we have actually our main sponsor, Epiphan, provides us with live stream, so those people who will not be able to attend the conference will be able to see and hear everything that happens at the event. But I think the main idea of the conference, for people meet in real life. It's not about listening to the speeches or presentations or fireside chats, which is a very important part, but that's kind of the beginning of a conversation in a way, right? And so we think that it's very important when people meet in person at the conference and discuss all those hot topics, issues that that I discussed at the conference or of their own.
Galina, what are you hoping for there at SVOD? And Tatiana, you are sister and co-founder as well. I think she's in the background there, but she has been very helpful on setting up here.
Yes, she's part of my co-founder Tatiana. She's also in the organizing team, and as a co-founder of Goodler, what I'm trying to get out of SVOD conference is exactly what Anna was just mentioning. It's ability to access the network of people who can potentially be our either investors or mentors or advisors or just simply cheerleaders that can hear about what we are all about, the Goodler is all about, and go and spread the word about us to the world. So we need all this supporting people in supporting roles as a part of our network. And I believe that open networks are an important element in fostering vibrant communities. It's extremely important, and SVOD is doing just that. It's creating this vibrant community where people, after networking, then become friends in one way or another. So I really hope, I have high hopes for the conference.
Mm.
A very specific question. How do you link up with, for example, Silicon Savannah?
With Silicon what?
Savannah.
Savannah.
Have you never heard about it?
No, I have
It's
not.
the equivalent to Silicon Valley, but in Kenya.
Oh, actually, Silicon
Ukrainian
Savannah.
delegation came over to SVOD exactly 11 years ago. That was the first conference, and that was their first official delegation to the Silicon Valley, where they were exploring high-tech world. And since then, we've become partners, not with Silicon Savannah, but with representatives of high-tech community, and successful Ukrainian companies were pitching at SVOD, and one of them was sold eventually to Google. The other one is pretty successfully develops its products all over the world, and they started their kind of way at SVOD. They got their boost at SVOD.
And you have the same evolution in Vietnam, actually. They also have their Silicon Valley just growing. So I'm wondering how you connect to these growing places in other parts of the world.
Well, it's very simple. It's just reaching out. Either we reach out to them and invite them to the event, or they reach out to us as they hear about this SVOD conference and want to participate in it. And we'll have representatives from Vietnam and Asian countries, other Asian countries, and Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Israel, Canada. So SVOD has become global, and we're very happy about it.
Yeah, I can assure you that the SVOD conference is it's a group of diverse stakeholders. There are people from everywhere and from every industry, and they are the ones who are actually, by collaborating together, they are creating they're this bridge, bridging the cultural gap and helping to understand each other. So it's I think it's a really truly global conference. You can see that from startups that are pitching from different countries. Have we had the Kenyan startups, by the way? No. Yeah. So it's a very cultural event for sure.
Have you seen medafrica.org? It's an app developed in Silicon Savannah based on an Ericsson platform, and it's a very smart tool for giving health support to people on the Savannah, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me share the website, Bertol, just since we're talking about this VOD a lot. It's www.svod.org, Silicon Valley Open Doors.
May I share with you a little metaphor? One of my good friends, he was talking about this ecosystem as a fabric. And if you think about it as a fabric, you have the threads going in different directions, and you're weaving a carpet, actually. So after the activity, you have a carpet, and that is the structural capital that will have a sustainable value. And if you do it like in Persia, you have a growing value of the carpet as well.
Yeah, very, very good one. I agree.
Okay, we will go there, and we are planning a tour to SOCAP in October, on the 3rd to 11th of October. So I hope we can, the days ahead and maybe after, we could do something interesting to build these bridges around the world. And yeah, that could be one opportunity to get SVOD out in the world and connect also with entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Bertil. I hope so.
Yeah, so see. Do you have something to add there? Otherwise, I think we will end the conversation for today.
And since I'm here, I'd like to give my company's website. So for those who are interested, we are right now collecting. I'd like to tell about our initiative collecting food for victims of earthquake in Nepal. So we have a wish list. We contacted the local charity in Nepal, and we created a partnership with a local retailer. So the items that are purchased through the wish list on our platform, which is Goodler.com, GOODDLER.com. So the items purchased through that Nepal wish list will be purchased directly in Nepal. So prices listed there are prices as they are in Nepal, and they will be delivered by local distributors, the local charity, to villages. The problem right now there is that the farmers lost their rice crops, and they're gonna have a big shortage of food. So we're trying to collect a truckload of food for them, especially rice, to be distributed in villages. So if you're willing and interested, visit Goodler.com and participate in our effort.
Okay, great. Do you have some final question there, Leif?
Well, I would like to wish you a happy future.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. We hope to see you in the Silicon Valley.
Yes, a great place with a great spirit.
Okay.
And it's a little quaky as well.
Great. Okay, see you and have a nice day over there and wherever you are.
Thank
see you soon.
Same to you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.